There it is.
Nice job, guys.
Amanda, before I stop recording, can you cut out the... Actually, no, never mind.
Go. Ready?
Do you want to start this one, Evan?
Do I know the intro?
I don't know. But whatever we do, if I say the intro, I'm not going to say it with my co-host Evan Luna, and you're going to say hi. That is not going to happen this time. Okay. Go ahead, Evan.
Hello and welcome to After Class with Evan and Aidan. I'm your host, Evan, joined with my co-host, Aidan.
Hi.
And on this episode 3, I wrongly called the past episodes the wrong number, but this is episode 3 of the podcast. Here with Mr. Nitti.
Hello, hello.
Glad to have you, sir.
Good to be here.
Hotly anticipated guest. Even though we forgot to put comments on the first one. Sorry about that. If you're one of our 2 listeners who wanted to comment something, very sorry about that. But we figured Mr. Nitti would be a safe bet.
Ratings will skyrocket.
I think so. I know we have a very dedicated, you have a very dedicated group of fans, so maybe we'll be able to pull in some of that viewership. Honestly, that was kind of one of the first things I was going to ask you about, actually, was the fan base of Nitti.
Oh yeah, it's growing exponentially every day. The wall of images keeps finding myself in different rooms that I'm in, so it's great.
Oh, like, wait, so you mean like this wall in here?
Oh, there's another one now.
There's another
There's
one.
multiple walls.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh, in 203.
Amanda, throw a picture of the Nitti wall.
Amanda, take a picture of the Nitti wall.
Context
Context for
Yeah.
context for
As of
any...
last week.
So are the pictures different or are they the same?
I think some are the same and some are different.
I wonder how long it's going to be before we get to like physical objects. There might be statues of you there soon.
It's going to be my archetype.
Little
archetype. Yeah.
little dolls,
Yeah.
Nitti dolls.
For anyone who doesn't know, people have been taking various pictures of Mr. Nitti and posting them on walls in the Comtech room. And now apparently there's another wall
There's
of
a
just
second
pictures of
room.
Nitti.
Yeah,
Always in black and white though.
always.
There's a couple color ones, but almost always black and white and always stretched or there's something
They
wrong
have a
with
theme
them.
to them, yeah.
Costs
Yeah.
too much to print in color at this school.
That's probably what it is. I guess there's too many pictures to be taken
For the shrine.
for the shrine. That's what I mean. Eventually there's going to be like candles surrounding it and everything.
Geez.
Uh,
It's going to be like the sticker Nitti put on my test.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
toothbrush that you threw in the
Oh,
garbage
geez.
last night.
My cup of Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Have they found you yet, sir?
They found me.
The address is out.
They found me. Yeah.
Sorry to hear
What?
that.
Yeah.
What?
They got him. They got him.
They found me.
Oh,
It took
no.
how many months? Yeah, longer than I thought.
I mean, I think you did a pretty good job keeping it under wraps.
I think so.
I knew a few people knew, and I was like, "There's only a matter of time before
Yeah.
this gets out."
Yeah.
But
When I first moved, the one thing I got installed right away was a garage door opener, so I knew I could easily park my car in the garage to avoid, being seen.
You feel like a guard dog now.
Yeah, well, I've got a guard dog now.
Oh, okay.
A 14-pound cockapoo doesn't do too much damage.
maybe you should try an electric fence.
Maybe.
Yeah. I guess before we go any further, we should record those sensors, huh?
If we're going to use them, then we should do it now.
I think so. Give it one more try.
Sure.
Okay. So, do you remember that noun I asked you to remember?
Yes.
So, as our way of censoring this podcast, we don't use like beeps or anything because we think those are, hard to listen to.
Yeah.
So instead, we just come up with random nouns
Perfect.
that we will lay over anything you say that needs to be censored. So, Evan, do you have anything in mind? Because I haven't thought of anything yet.
Worcestershire.
That's a good one.
I think it's pronounced Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. I'll let Amanda decide. Worcestershire.
There you go.
I actually don't know if it's pronounced Worcestershire.
Honestly, who does? Only maybe the people who live there.
Maybe. Isn't that a sauce? I thought it was a sauce.
Yeah,
It's
but
like a
it's named
town.
after a town, I
That's
think.
named after town. Okay.
I assume that's what I assume they make it there in
That's what they're
Worcestershire.
known for.
Yeah. I'm going to go with lamp.
I'm going to go with dinosaur.
It's a good one. Yeah.
For
So,
no particular reason.
No
yeah,
reason.
Of course not. So, where were we?
Amanda, if that was unusable, and just cut it and start the conversation here.
That's how this goes.
That's how it's going.
Amanda, add dinosaur picture.
Amanda, put a picture of Nitti riding a dinosaur.
Yeah. Thanks, Amanda. She can handle that, right?
I hope
She can Photoshop that. That's not that hard. Right. Yeah, I had no idea about that second wall.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because I just live here.
it started this week.
Oh, so it's new.
Yeah, very new.
Where is the new wall?
It is on the outside. What wall would that be? I don't know. There's no windows, so I don't know my geography in that classroom. But the wall where the door is in room 203.
So the one
that goes along, that runs parallel to the hall.
Okay, yeah.
The bulletin board wall.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
And how, like, I guess it's been growing pretty fast. Like,
Well, there's, I think, 5 pictures there right now.
do you know how many people are dedicated to
The cause?
Yeah.
I think 3.
Only 3?
Well, actually, it seems to be growing.
So yeah.
So maybe
I'm surprised it's that low, honestly.
Maybe 5.
Evan and I, we refer to your little fan group as the Knights of Nitti.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah. Mostly just based on the fact that we think that if something ever happened to you, they'd probably fight to the death to defend you.
Probably.
You really have like your own little squad of marauders at this school.
Yeah.
And you never asked for them.
No, it's been 3 years. 3 years. Yeah. I'm doing something wrong.
Speaking of which, for the record, Mr. Nitti, what are your favorite and least favorite pizza toppings?
Least favorite? Mushrooms.
Oh,
Yeah. I hate
that's a
mushrooms.
controversial one.
Is it? Not lamb mushrooms. Who eats mushrooms?
Are you kidding me?
On pizza?
I love mushrooms.
What the hell?
What are you talking about? They're great.
I am here to interrupt your podcast to tell you that the censorship joke was too hard to edit for Amanda's little fingers, and isn't even that funny, so we are not doing it anymore. Thank you, little monsters, for listening, and
Lamb.
you.
Who eats mushrooms?
Are you kidding me?
On pizza?
I love mushrooms.
What the hell?
What are you talking about? They're great.
Gross.
They're good
Denial.
for you.
They're
That's
disgusting.
denial.
They taste like dirt.
They do. Exactly. If you like the taste of dirt, that's something for you, I guess. But
They don't taste like. Well, what's your favorite?
Pepperoni.
That's still
You gotta
basic.
go with pepperoni.
Honestly, I
Or
didn't-
spicy salami.
I didn't even think of pepperoni just because it's such a universal topping.
Yeah.
I think very few people
It's like saying
don't like.
cheese is a topping.
No,
That's like fundamentally pizza, though.
Exactly.
Is it? I don't know.
I think so. I think the Italians would agree.
I was gonna say. I think you'd have to tell me that.
As an honorary Italian. Actually, not honorary. As an Italian.
As an Italian.
I would agree.
Why are you honorary? I thought you were like full
I
Italian.
think I am full Italian. I don't know why I said I think. I am full Italian.
Okay, there's the confidence. There's the
There you go.
Italian
There's
confidence.
the-
There you go.
Yeah,
Have
Yeah.
you been to Italy before?
I have.
Have you
Yeah.
had pizza in Italy before?
I have.
Were you-
fantastic?
And did it have cheese?
Were you surprised if it had? Well, did it have no sauce?
Most have sauce.
But a lot don't, right?
Some don't. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah. The white
for a lot of
pizzas.
people.
Yeah. Olive oil.
If you just ask for a pizza in Italy, there's many places that'll just give you like a piece of cheese or a piece of bread with like cheese sprinkled on top of it, and that's your pizza.
That'd be really funny. I've never been to Italy or anything. I'm not Italian, but I feel like that would catch me off guard
Yeah.
if I ever went there and asked for a pizza, thinking like, I wonder what Italian pizza's like, and they give me this half-assed piece
It's
of bread
cheesy
with
bread.
cheese on it, and
It's
they're like,
cheesy
deal with
bread.
that.
That's it.
A lot of the
it's
toppings
good,
that are on
probably.
pizza are like non-Italian stuff, but that's what pizza is. That's what real pizza is. It's just bread and cheese.
If you have to settle for North American pizza, Nitti, what's your favorite?
What's my favorite?
And to make it fair, I guess what's your favorite like chain of pizza? Chain being defined as like 3 restaurants or more.
Okay, so I can't say Lamar's.
Yeah,
Um,
because we had this talk, didn't we, Evan, a while ago?
I think so. Yeah.
Probably a few times.
Not on the podcast.
Yeah, not on the podcast, but
part of me likes the Domino's pizza.
really,
I do. I like watching it progress on the app
yeah.
and go through the tracker.
So you like the pizza or the app?
I like both. It's a whole experience of waiting for your pizza and having it at your door. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I've never thought about that dimension of it.
No, never.
I think me and Evan both like Domino's, like pizza for its taste, right?
A lot of people don't like Domino's.
A lot don't like Domino's.
And I think that's fair if you're talking about Domino's as regular pizza. But
Oh yeah, no, I've never had.
have you ever had their Brooklyn style pizza?
That's the go-to.
That's
the only
that's
pizza
not
I
the
order.
go-to. That's the only actual food that they sell. You can't order anything else at Domino's. You're wasting your money.
I agree.
If
There
you
are-
get Brooklyn style though, it's better than Pizza, better than Pizza Nova. Like it's already up there.
It's so good. That's actually the only pizza I order from Domino's.
There's like 2 listeners that just heard us say Brooklyn style Domino's pizza, and something sparked in their head.
And
Yeah.
Domino's phone calls are going off the hook.
if you hate Domino's, please go to Domino's and try a Brooklyn style pizza. It'll change your life.
It's like not even the same place.
It's not. It's 100 times better.
They get the pizza from some other chain and just resell it.
Have you ever heard of There's this little chain of pizza places up in Barrie. It's called Twice the Deal Pizza.
No.
Yeah. So,
Is it worth the deal?
well, then, the name, can you imagine yourself seeing Twice the Deal Pizza and being like, oh, that's a good pizza place. I'm going in there. Right. Like, it's kind of, it's a bit of a sketchy name.
Yeah.
But I did a summer course at the Barrie School, JOA, which I don't know how anybody like goes to school at JOA. It was the creepiest place I've ever been.
Careful.
Like Careful. Yeah, all our Barrie viewers, right? I don't know. If anybody's ever been to JOA, maybe you can like attest to this. But when I went to JOA, it was like, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like right after a big stretch of forest.
Yeah, there's forest, there's houses, and then that big hill.
Yeah.
I've told you in the story when I went there, I was with Josh, right? And we would just explore that neighborhood in the summertime. And we never saw a single person on the streets. Not one. Actually, we saw one guy skateboarding, and he would skateboard down the big hill every single day. I'm pretty sure he's just an android on a track and he's not a real person. But anyway, they have like 3 restaurants there, right? They have a Polero's, they have a Twice the Deal Pizza, and like a convenience store. And you could tell that those are like their restaurants, because when you go out of the school, there's a patch of grass that goes around the fence between the plaza and the school. And the patch of grass is worn down to sand because all the kids every single day go around that corner to go get their Twice the Deal pizza.
That's weirdly
Must be
creepy.
good pizza.
And I think they line up because when we went out for lunch, you couldn't even get into Twice the Deal because I guess because it's the only restaurant, but it would line up around that fence through that sandy patch every single day.
So you're saying it's actually like, it's good pizza?
I'm saying it's the only restaurant next to the school.
Okay.
But
Your options are limited. That's
Yeah.
But we went there and actually it was pretty good. It was worth the value.
It wasn't a misnomer.
Well, they give you this big, like, it's like thick pizza. It's like almost like deep dish, like a ton of cheese. Like, in terms of value, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it actually, and I didn't realize it was a chain, but I saw another one. So there's like 3 or 4 of them out there.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so if you ever see a Twice the Deal pizza, maybe try that one too. I don't know, you might be surprised.
It might convert me from Domino's.
Yeah. When do we get our check from Twice the Deal Pizza,
Twisted
by the way?
Pizza, if you want to sponsor our podcast, you can, I don't know,
They should be paying us for this advertisement.
send us a fax and we'll respond to it.
A fax? I haven't seen a fax machine in 5 years.
People probably still use them. Do you have a fax machine, Mr. Nitti?
It's unplugged and at my parents' house, so no.
So basically,
no.
so basically, no, you don't. Okay.
Yeah. I don't even think I have a home phone number, so I think we're past the fax. Yeah.
I think I mentioned in the first episode, right? That I wanted to talk to Mr. Nitti about Spider-Man.
Okay.
I said I had to.
Okay.
So
In episode 1, we talked.
I've finally seen the new Spider-Man movie, Mr.
Finally.
Nitti. It took me
Only
long
came out
enough.
like 3 months ago.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, you didn't actually see it until like last week?
When I sent you that thing and you're like, remember? I sent you that message on
That
Instagram.
was your first time
That was
watching
my
it?
first viewing.
Oh my
it was
God.
it was ruined for me because I don't know. Am I allowed to? Should I talk about
Spoilers
specific
for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah,
I think you're the last person who.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I'm not.
impacted
I'm not
by
about to
spoiler.
spoil it. I'm just saying the movie got ruined for me anyway because my dear friend Alex Silvestri on the first day of release sent me detailed spoilers to the entire plot of Spider-Man, and I'm not like a big Spider-Man fan, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, there was like big reaction in theaters. Also, yeah, Amanda, throw up some timestamps or something right now so that people who don't want it spoiled for them can skip, just in case.
Okay, but spoilers from this point on.
It was awesome.
Did you watch it day 1?
I went the Thursday before the Friday it came out.
I watched it like, I think it was either day 1 or
before
day
the Friday.
2.
So you had like, we're talking about like early
Yeah,
screening?
they did like a 7:00 screening here in Newmarket, and I made sure that we were the first ones because when you work at a school full of teenagers who will be going to watch Spider-Man, I could not face the threat of it being spoiled after years of waiting for Spider-Man to come out. So yeah, I had to go and get my early screening tickets.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't really surprise me at all because I know you were talking about how excited you were for it and your plans to go out. I didn't realize you got like early though,
Oh yeah,
like that early.
very early. We bought it the same day that the pre-screen or the tickets were on sale to buy it like ahead of time. And the system crashed. So it took me like 3 hours to like actually try to secure tickets.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm dedicated.
Most stressful 3 hours of your life,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I think it was a COVID day. It was when I had COVID. So
No. So,
I had time on
you
my
could
side.
dedicate it.
Yeah.
You could be like, forget my job, forget my family. We are going
That's
for
it.
Spider-Man.
We're-
Before we actually talk about the movie, I wanted to ask, did you have what was like your theater like? How did they
Yeah, because
reacts.
I heard there was big reactions on theaters, which I didn't get to experience because
It-
I just streamed it.
It was quite loud and energetic. A few dressed up. I did not dress up. Full disclaimer. But yeah, once when can I spoil it now, or were we past that?
Sure,
point?
Yeah,
Once
there's been fair warning.
the 3 Spider-Man appeared on the screen at the same time, you can say the theater erupted quite loudly.
I heard that there was always like for a lot of people there was big cheers in the theater and stuff. Like it was one of those moments, right?
Oh yeah, like just to see everybody come back, heroes and Spider-Man, it's great.
And I can't remember, Mr. Nitti, which is your favorite Spider-Man?
Oh, the new one, Tom Holland.
You like Tom Holland?
100%.
Did that change based on this movie? Because I thought you said before you liked Andrew Garfield.
No, Andrew Garfield's my least favorite Spider-Man.
Oh, my bad. Geez, sorry. I'm not up to date on my
there you
Nitti lore. God.
We have the same opinion.
Just put Lewis on his
I would
podcast.
say,
He'd be much better.
Tobey Maguire is number 2, but this new guy's doing a great job. So I'm all for Tom Holland. Tom Holland? Yeah.
Tom Holland.
Yes.
Yeah. This is our second episode talking about Tom Holland in great detail.
Well, he's popular.
I guess.
People don't care.
He draws the views.
When I was
We should be putting him in the thumbnails.
when I was in the theaters, I went with a group of friends, and it was how before before Andrew appears,
Mhm.
it's very it's sort of tense. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
I heard people like starting to freak out a little bit, and as soon as he appeared on the screen, my friend got so excited he threw his arms up and punched me across the face.
Nice.
During the movie.
Were you eating popcorn at that time?
No,
Okay.
thank God. That could have been bad.
Yeah.
But it didn't hurt. It was just very snap me into the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
That was when you realized, oh my God,
Oh my God.
Andrew Garfield's on the screen.
Yeah, I had a friend squeeze my arm till it bruised
my
because he
God.
couldn't contain himself. So
Jeez.
thank you. Thank you for that.
I kind of feel like I'm in the minority here of like Spider-Man's not like my most favorite character. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't imagine going to a theater and just having that such visceral excitement for it. But I guess people were into it.
Years in the making.
How do you feel about that Spider-Man movie compared to other ones?
I thought it was good. I think it exceeded all my expectations. I liked it because of the nostalgia from, watching the previous Spider-Man kind of reappear. So I did like it a lot. I think it definitely exceeded all my expectations.
Besides that, what would be your favorite Spider-Man movie? You must have one, right?
Yeah. I think it's going to be like Spider-Man 1 or 2 with Tobey Maguire.
The originals?
Yeah.
That's true. Before he went emo, I think they were pretty.
Yeah, not Spider-Man 3.
You don't like it at all?
It was okay.
It's funny.
It's funny, but it's not,
It's funny
not
in its
top-
own way.
Not top 3.
Yeah, so, would you say that this new one is like you liked it more than those ones, or are those still your favorite?
I think I liked it more than those ones. Actually, no, I like the first one the most.
I guess it's kind of hard to top the original in a
Yeah.
series like that. But
Yeah, I think the way they did the Green Goblin the first time around was great. But to see him reappear again second time was just as exciting.
Willem Dafoe's the Green Goblin.
He
He's my
does-
favorite
yeah.
Spider-Man villain.
Hands
He's my
down.
favorite superhero villain of all time.
he's
right?
pretty good.
He's my favorite on-screen villain, and seeing him in that movie.
Because it's really hard
So
to make
exciting.
especially in superhero movies, it's very easy, I think, to make poor villains. Like you'd think it wouldn't be because they're all written for you.
Mhm.
But sometimes you get villains who are just like Thanos,
Yes.
and they're big and scary, but
I don't think the Green Goblin.
do you care that much?
I don't think he was hard to write or he's really complex or anything. I just think Willem Dafoe plays him so incredibly
Yeah.
well.
Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin,
Yeah.
basically.
That's it. There's no other Green Goblin.
Exactly.
He's just one of those characters. Like we talked about in the first episode, some actors are just made perfectly for characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
We discussed on the first episode, I think, that there's some actors you see like Adam Sandler or Morgan Freeman
Mhm.
who have almost gotten to the point where they just play themselves in movies.
Yeah.
And Willem Dafoe, I mean, he doesn't. He plays the Green Goblin. But it's hard to imagine anybody else playing that character.
I couldn't see it. Yeah, James Franco could probably do it because that's what kind of happened in the first movie, I think.
Is it?
Well,
I'm not too up to date on my Spider-Man. I would not know a single thing if you started talking about Spider-Man 1 or 2.
James Franco
maybe I don't
is a weird actor because I feel like in some movies he's really good and convincing, and then I think about his performance in Spider-Man 2, and while I love that movie, James Franco is noticeably really bad in that movie for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it could be one of his starting roles too, right? I don't remember
Maybe.
James Franco before that, but I'm not a
Maybe.
huge James Franco fan to know what his, database was like his beforehand?
For No Way Home, before the movie was even like, before there's even like trailers for it, there was a lot of theories that Toby and Andrew would be in the movie. Did you believe any of those? Because I was a hard denier. I did not think they were going to be in it at all.
I had my suspicions that they would be in, but as I was watching it and kind of looking at the clock and saying, okay, we're an hour into this movie, they're still not here yet. Like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? So then I started to like lose hope that they would be there and that the theorists were wrong. But it held true. They appeared.
It was I really did believe like people were gonna start review bombing the movie and they were gonna hate it because they just made up this like fake thing about the other Spider-Man being in it, and if they weren't there, then like it would be a shit show.
I mean, would you blame them? Like if people started review bombing the movie after that?
Well, there were people that were like,
that's a pretty Disney move. Like they would do something like that.
They were dedicated. They were like, I firmly believe that they will be in this movie, and if they are not, then this movie will be terrible, right?
Would the movie have been worse without them?
I don't think so. I think it was cool seeing them, but they didn't play like a vital role, you know?
Yeah, like I think Tom Holland can hold his own,
Mm-hmm.
but I think people were going into it with the expectation that they would and should be there.
One thing I didn't really like about the movie very much is that they gave Tom Holland like the same kind of like, again, I'm not super up to date on my Spider-Man lore, but I think it's the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man where Mary Jane dies, Gwen dies, one of them, right? And that came back in No Way Home, but I feel like they just kind of shoehorned in his moment with Aunt May so that he could relate to that Spider-Man. Because I remember watching it and I'm like, that's kind of weird. The last couple Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland have been pretty like, I want to say low stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been pretty like, very colorful, very light.
Uplifting.
Yeah, sort of. They're not heavy narratives, right? And then to have like that really dramatic like cinematography going on where he's in this burning building, he's covered in blood and you know what I mean? And his aunt's dying. It just seemed very like, I was like, oh, I really didn't expect that to happen.
No.
And then when it came up later and like that, I guess that was kind of a connection for them. It was like, okay. It
is a really dark movie. Even beyond that scene. Like,
but
there's
like
a lot of dark moments.
But like, you know what I mean? It just didn't seem supernatural to me. I felt like if they had done that in the last Spider-Man movie, I would have been totally fine with it because they're building the character like they have with other Marvel movies. But now it was just kind of like shoved in, and then an hour later, now it's important.
Maybe, but I think, I don't know. I think because they've all shared the same loss of Uncle Ben, that all of them were able to connect with him because they now watched him lose his Aunt May.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, it's supposed to be his, like, Uncle Ben. And I thought that was, like, going naturally until she said, with great power comes great responsibility. And I was like, I don't know. That pulled me out, like, a tiny bit.
Cheese factor?
Yeah, it was a little bit too, like, on the nose, you know? You could have just had that scene and it would have made sense for people. But when you force the line in, it, like, takes away from it a little bit.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, I discussed with you, Evan, a little bit the conversation, like the three-way Spider-Man conversation that they have. Now, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. So for me, when that happened, I was like, oh, like they're all talking about like how their movies were different, right? And then I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. This is a pretty good bit. I was enjoying it. And then went on for a minute. And then it was like 2 minutes. And then we're at the 5th minute of the Spider-Man conversation. And I'm like, oh, this is like, it was just such pure like reference and fan service that to me, I was just like, is this really still happening? Like, where is the movie? It's right before like a big event too. It's like the actual climax of the plot.
It's also
and they're just chilling and he cracks his back. They're just throwing into the guy. It's just, I don't know.
Because he's old now.
Right? It's like, it's because it's old. But you know what? It's like, it's meta jokes like that.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I guess if you really like Spider-Man, this is interesting. But for me, just like watching the movie, a casual enjoyer, I was like, this is weird. For that long? If it was like a minute, I would have got it. But it just kept going.
Weird but effective because you're still talking about it now.
True. I don't hate it. I don't think it was a terrible scene, but it was just, I was astonished by how long it went on. I thought they would have spread it out more over the course of the movie, but they just had the one, they're like, okay, this is the fan scene. This is the scene that all the fans will like. Was there a reaction to that in the theater?
You know what? I've never really picked up on that because I think I watched it as a fan, so I didn't have that hold on, let me analyze this moment type
Sure.
approach.
I think most
But
people
you know-
going into that movie were like Spider-Man fans, right? Because this was like,
Well,
the
especially in
big
your showing
Spider-Man
because it's
movie.
like the earliest you could go.
Yeah.
Nobody was going because this movie's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Marvel movies.
I understand why you would think that goes on for a little bit, and I understand. I get that, but people want to see these characters, so I don't really think they care if they're just talking. So that's really what they want, right? They want more of Andrew and Toby in their red and blue suits.
Yeah, and I didn't hate that. It's just I really don't like it when movies get like too far into that, and it's dangerous with a movie like this one where you know they're bringing back all these Spider-Men. Like they could, really, because it could have been entertaining if they just had that conversation go on for 15 minutes. It wasn't it was an interesting scene because there's not many movies that do things like that.
Yeah.
And definitely not on this scale where there's so many Spider-Man fans out there and it's such a big property that you have the ability to do that. Like that's a Marvel specific thing. But I don't know. For me, just watching the movie as a movie, like a regular Marvel movie, there was just, I don't know, there's something about it. I was worried it would fall too much into fan service.
Okay.
And it was treading the line a little bit for me.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. I respect that opinion.
Yeah. But still a good movie.
Fantastic movie. I would watch it again and again.
Yeah.
I don't want to get stuck on talking about Spider-Man for the whole episode, but like I think to wrap up that topic, I want to ask you, what did you think about the like really sort of dark, sad like ending to the movie where he has to abandon all his friends, he has no more family.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
living in an apartment, right?
it put things into perspective for me and was like, would I be able to do that if I were Spider-Man? I don't know. That's a tough goal, but it sets things up nicely for the next one. So it's something to look forward to.
People say like the first 3 movies are his like origin story, and now he's playing into more like the Tobey Maguire sort of. He lives in an apartment building. He just like listens to radios to go stop crime, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah. I'm still excited for what's to come, but yeah, that ending was, it was a sad way to end a very dark movie at times, but still interested to know what comes next.
Yeah. That's well put.
I forgot about that scene actually at the end.
Right.
'Cause I think I sent you a message after I watched it. I'm like, man, I wasn't expecting such an emotional ending for a Spider-Man movie. And you're right. I don't even think it's not even a new idea, really.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them do that in a Marvel movie. So I got to give that movie one thing, and that's that they tried a lot of new stuff,
And I think it worked.
and very little of it I think didn't work. Like it was pretty solid with all the stuff that it did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember watching the end, and I had a similar sort of reaction. I was thinking like, man, it had me thinking for a little bit, as all good movies should, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. So sorry, that was an inevitable conversation
It's all
topic.
good.
It had to
Gotta
happen.
love Spider-Man.
Yeah, we got out there.
Yeah. And our prep work is so good. I'm just like, who's Mr. Nitti? Oh yeah, he likes Spider-Man. So
Getting a little bit more to you as a teacher, what actually made you want to be a teacher? Or did you not want to?
Well, my parents had other plans for me. They thought I would be a lawyer, and they were not impressed with the idea of me saying I would rather be a teacher instead. The time that I entered was probably when there were not that many jobs for teachers out there. But what really clicked for me was when I was able to teach at Western, and I was given 4 classes to do tutorials there. And I had a blast doing it, and I could not see myself doing anything else. Like I was the guy there that was, putting in a lot of effort to conduct these tutorials. And then when friends couldn't make theirs, I would, be the first one to offer running theirs. And it just brought a lot of joy to me. And I thought, you know what am I doing trying to get into law to please my parents when this is clearly something that I would rather do instead.
That's good. It's good that that was like the job you wanted to have, right? That was your first choice.
Couldn't do anything else. But if you ask me again what I would do differently, I would say nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
no regrets then.
No regrets.
That's good. Yeah. And I think that does show a little bit like in our school community. Like I said, you're loyal followers. I don't know. I wasn't there for the first year, so I don't know what it was that, set them off. so
I
to
don't
speak.
even know what it was that set them off.
But I think, I had business with you obviously last semester, and you were my co-op supervisor for half a semester. So I think in that experience, I know I appreciated your teaching style.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if like other people did or not. But I noticed like you have a certain dedication to the students that, you know, I think you make a focus. I guess I don't know how to express this really. It's like when I was in your class, you have a very specific teaching style where you really are trying to encourage the kids to do like anything they can.
Mhm.
It's like a soft encouragement. It's not, you know, you don't yell at anybody.
Don't come down with the iron fist.
Exactly.
Try to
Yeah.
be more motivational,
Yeah. Very motivational.
transformational.
Even in, you know, with kids or in classes where there's not much motivation.
That happens. What? There's kids in classes that are motivated.
I know. Sorry.
Even here? No.
Not in Nitty's class, everybody.
Never.
Nitty's class, everybody is. Everybody comes to class and they're ready to do great things.
Always.
Jacob Snelly still hasn't showed me that video he submitted to you for business.
Oh, that was
I keep asking him for it because I know he put a lot of effort into it.
tons.
Like, well, he made it look like it was low effort, but I know he put a lot of effort into it.
I actually never saw him work harder in my life than those 2 weeks of CCT week. So shout out to you, Jacob, for
So I mean,
that hard work.
And you better send me that video, Jacob. I've been waiting for like 6 months now. I need that.
It's pretty good. It's in my resource bank upstairs.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You got it
I
saved?
have full access. Yeah.
Maybe you should send it to him next.
Maybe.
He can't find it. I think.
Oh,
Because
can't find it.
the bright space went down.
Gotcha. Oh, yes.
'Cause-
yeah.
So he doesn't have it anymore.
So I have it. I
Yeah.
think.
Maybe if we can get that, we can put it on screen. And if not, just put a
Yeah.
sad face, Amanda. Put
Yeah.
a sad face on the
Well,
screen.
this is a very personal me and Nitty conversation, so I'm sure this is horrible to listen to. We might have to cut that.
Okay.
that's whatever.
It depends if we get the video. If we get the video
I
and we
think
can put that up,
I think I can see what I can do.
then it would be worth it.
We've been pretty casual. We're having some fun, but it's time to get this is where we get serious now.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
This is going to turn into an interrogation.
put the spotlight
we
on.
need answers from you at this
Okay.
point. All right.
Let's go.
This is all just to lure you in for this one question.
Yeah.
Are there more wheels or doors in the world?
I've heard about this question before.
No, you haven't.
Not from you.
We came up with this.
We did
Come up
this.
with
This
it.
is us. No one else. You
This
never
is
heard
like
this before.
I don't know. Are there more wheels or doors? There's a lot of apartments. There's also a lot of cars. I think there's more wheels.
You think so?
I think there's more wheels than doors. Is there like a scientific answer to this? Like, has anybody?
I don't think anybody's counted. No.
No. That should be a good job for 2022. No.
Yeah. Just go around counting the doors.
Why not?
Should have done it during COVID when we had the time.
There's you know.
Everybody could have just submitted a census of every wheel and every door in their house.
A lot of people like to stretch the meaning of a door is, if I have a cardboard box and I flip it open, that flip is the door.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not. And people say that wheels are just like soccer balls are wheels or like doorknobs, which isn't true either.
Okay. Yeah, doorknobs are not wheels.
But we established in the last one, a wheel is anything rotating on an axis underneath another object, like a vehicle.
Okay.
And a door is any sort of swinging or sliding frame made for a person to walk through, right? So like we have like revolving doors, sliding doors, but you can't say like your AirPod case because it opens up, it's a door,
Okay. So let's use this room for a representative sample here, because this is representative of the wide world, right? I see 2 doors and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wheels.
Ooh.
Want to prove it?
Yeah. Well, we just wanted to see your personal opinion on that because
Okay.
obviously opinions differ. I think for the most part, people start out doors and move to wheels. That seems to be the common theme.
Yeah.
But just didn't know if you'd heard of that question before.
I've
Which-
never given it much thought. So I've heard that it exists in this universe, but never have been thought to answer that question.
I'm glad we could open your mind to that, sir.
Yeah, there we go.
I have been liberated.
If you're a door believer and you see Nitty in the hallway, make sure you go up to him and explain to him why he should believe in doors and not wheels.
Make sure you do it in between classes too.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can't get to class in time.
But I don't really move from class to class. I stay in my hermit hole.
Well, that makes it easier. Mr. Nitty, would you like to say your room number into the mic so we can
Okay. Room 203.
All right, door enjoyers, you know where to find them.
You know where to go.
There's only one door in room 203.
Do you think that gives you a better chance?
Yeah, keep it shut.
You can fend them off better. We kind of talked about it earlier, but it just occurred to me, and I wanted to ask you because this podcast we anticipate it staying up for a pretty long time
Yeah.
after we're long gone,
Hopefully.
passed into the ether, or
Doing
whatever,
sexual,
or whatever else happens after high school. I'm not sure. So I wanted to ask you about the Knights of Nitti, as they were, and maybe you could recount to us the story of that, because I didn't even know about the second wall of Nitti, and I think there must be some details I didn't know about.
Some details
Just the overall story, because I've heard tell from other students, but that's about it.
about the second wall.
Not about the second wall, but just about
I want you to relive your
how
trauma.
yes.
How it all started.
How this situation has progressed, because I think that would just be interesting for some of our younger listeners.
From grade 10?
Sure.
Well, I think it's because in grade 10, I was blessed, we want to use those words, to teach the same group of students multiple times throughout the year. And they really got to know me, and I got to joke around with them. And I think it just escalated from there. And then I think part of it grew even further when my time here was cut short at the beginning of COVID. And then when the return came, that phrase where you don't know what you have till it's gone. I think I would like to fall in line with that, I guess, motto. And I think that's what grew there. And I think, it was nice to be welcomed back. I think, being apart, absence makes the love grow stronger. We're full of all these cliches here. But maybe that's what it was. I don't know. You'll have to ask the Knights of Nitti themselves.
So what at their next
Oh,
at their next
no.
council meeting?
Oh, no.
But I guess I don't know. If you're not comfortable talking about it, then sure. But do you have specific details on how that relationship has progressed? Maybe any key moments?
Key moments. Are you alluding to when pizza was delivered to my house?
I wanted to start at the resume or the cover
Oh,
letter,
at the resume. Oh, yes.
and move from there.
Got it.
Because as we've established,
I don't know any of this
they
stuff.
finally have your address.
This is all
Well,
new to me.
like my parents' address. Well, no.
No, they had that.
And
They
both.
had that for a while though.
Yes, yeah. Well, like all good effective teachers, you like to use examples to show students, why.
Which class were you teaching?
This was
to start
grade 10 careers. So I was showing them my resume and why they should put so much effort into their resume. Because as you see my resume from grade 10 compared to my resume in university, there's not a lot of change. So if you put a lot of effort, you're going to set yourself up for a lifetime of success.
So you doxed yourself to your class?
Well, let him finish the story. Let him finish the story.
I thought I outsmarted them by blanking off the key parts of the header. And I prefaced it by saying, good luck, because I have blocked off those key details. And then when I went to show my cover letter, I forgot that the bottom paragraph says, and if you have any further concerns, you can reach me on my cell phone at ... To which, thank you, Lewis, for recording that and then claiming to have deleted it, but not really deleting it. And then, it grew from there. So phone number was leaked. And then
I think the Instagram too, right?
the Instagram
Do
was
you know about that one? Because I think I've heard
fan
the story.
page. Are you talking about the fan page?
No, how they got your Instagram?
Yes, because I think a notification was on my phone
That's
at
what I've
my
heard.
desk, and it popped up and the name was shown there.
I thought it was an account you followed. That's what I heard. It was an account that you followed, and they went to that account's followers and went through
Oh,
every
maybe.
single
Don't
one
give
of
them
like
any ideas.
1,000 accounts.
Maybe, could be.
Don't give them any idea.
Oh,
It's already done.
It's too late.
Like I said, this is where the story is ongoing, and that was years ago.
Yeah, there's about 20 pending requests still.
Wow.
Yeah. How many pizzas have been sent to your house?
Just one. I know it's disgusting.
Was that? What did they put
Did
on
they even
it?
give you a good
It
pizza?
was triple cheese and pepperoni.
Oh, they're going to say mushrooms.
No.
Triple
okay,
cheese
thank
is a little
goodness.
much.
Triple cheese. There was more cheese than dough.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
It was
Double cheese is like okay, but triple cheese that doesn't sound like a good time.
Yeah. That was a fun time.
I didn't realize you were like the most popular teacher in our school. You're like a celebrity.
Well, I had to pay for the pizza, so I don't know how popular.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think he felt bad about that. Though.
I think he did. He
I think
owed me with some coffees.
That's
Which
nice.
he still owes me some.
Yeah.
3. I think we're down to 3 left.
Well, now you guys know if there's any pizzas in Mr. Nitty's future, no triple cheese.
Please no.
Pepperoni is good. Definitely no mushrooms.
I don't think he'd mind if you paid for it as well.
Yeah, that would be nice.
that'd be
That would
nice,
be
yeah.
that too. And probably maybe the most important detail.
And maybe to my new address and not my parents' address.
Is that where it went to your
It went
parents?
to my parents' address. Yeah.
So,
I was there during quarantine.
I was gonna say. So I thought they confused your parents' address with yours.
No.
Okay.
That all happened because a video was posted online on the school's Instagram account, which showcased teachers saying hello to me on my driveway. And, it was panned out to the other side of the street where my neighbor's house across the street had my street name written out in cursive writing. And that was broadcasted on, Holy Trinity Instagram. And that's how students quickly figured out where my parents lived.
Oh my God.
So Nitty is pretty much triangulated at this point.
Yeah, they can't go anywhere else.
That's
They,
terrible.
they haven't found Sophia yet, though.
No,
Luckily.
she's safe for now.
How long do you think? A year?
No, I
Actually,
think
because a
it'll be
lot of them are
longer.
graduating too.
Yeah, I think she's safe.
So, she would have been, but now that we've uploaded this, the younger ones can carry the
Maybe.
torch.
The legacy continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's like Uncharted.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that I didn't realize it was that deep. I know that you had like a little group of extremists that followed your every move, but I didn't know it was that
Oh, it's
Crazy.
deep. Yeah,
wow.
That's why I wanted to get the full story, because
there it is.
I wasn't sure if I missed any details. Like your parents' house, I thought that was totally unrelated.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what I mean? Like I thought you just happened to be there for one day and that's not where you were living. And they managed to get your
I was there
parents'
for a few
address.
weeks. Yeah. And it was like instantaneous. As soon as the Instagram video was posted, I think I received 4 emails all at the same time
Really?
Yeah.
Saying what?
saying, "We know where you live."
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
And that same night is when I got the pizza.
Wow.
wow.
The same night.
Yeah. Same
Did
night.
you at least know that night that it was the students doing it?
Oh,
or-
100%.
Okay.
Who else would it be?
100%.
I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
We know where you live.
Yeah, it's really
It
ominous.
was very, it was
Was
very
it was that
threatening.
that was the whole email? Just that?
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing here a little.
No. Well, yeah. Just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
they're not sending just purely ominous emails to you.
With threats of triple cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't think of much worse to have sent to my house than a triple cheese pizza.
It wasn't even Domino's.
What was it?
Pizza.
Oh, yikes. Pizza. They at least send you some of that like garlic sauce.
No.
Do you like pizza garlic sauce? Have you ever had it?
Yeah. Pizza garlic sauce is pretty good.
It's got to be the best one.
Yeah, I think so.
And right back to pizza, eh?
Yeah, full circle. There we go.
The only two things we're talking about, Spider-Man and pizza.
Perfect place to probably end it off.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we go, again, because there's no coherence to this podcast, we've done pizza, we've done Spider-Man, we went to teaching, we went back to Spider-Man and pizza, and now we have to come back to teaching again. Obviously,
Okay.
complete the cycle. So, we talked a little bit about your teaching journey and your career. Where did you work before you came here? Actually,
At a few different schools. I was at St. Peter's in Barrie, St. Thomas Aquinas in Tottenham, and St. Marcellus in Toronto.
so you've been to a few different
Been a
places.
few. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we go, we just wanted to ask you, since this podcast will be around for a while, and we're hoping some students who are new to this school, or at least here after we're gone, listen to it. Is there anything you'd like to say to them, just as a message, whether from Michael Nitti to the kids, from Mr. Nitti to his students, whatever you want to say? Just this is your time to say whatever you want.
I would say both as from a teacher and student point of view, enjoy your time at high school, make the most of it. Get involved. High school is going to be the best 4 years, sometimes 5 of your life. And I love being in a high school each and every day. And it reminds me of my high school experience, which is why I never want to leave here. Holy Trinity is a great place to be, so enjoy it.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Nitti.
No problem.
And if you call the number on the screen right now, it will go straight to Mr. Nitty's personal cell phone.
Yeah. Amanda, throw up, what do we have? We have the
Throw
phone
up Mr.
number,
Nitty's personal
Instagram,
address, phone number,
parents' address. Don't forget that one.
Excellent. More numbers to block and
his ideal pizza order as well.
Yeah, of course. The most important thing, the ideal pizza order.
Brooklyn pizza.
Brooklyn style.
Well,
Domino's
thanks
pizza.
for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We hope you stick around for the next week. We don't have anybody planned yet, but
Whatever.
it'll be a good one. There will be comments enabled on this video. So leave a comment down below if you care enough to do so. Suggest a teacher, suggest some questions you'd like us to ask them, and we'll do our best in future episodes. All right. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
Have a good night.